everyone, let's learn about tenses. So we have types of tenses, which are three. We have present tense, past tense, future tense. Present mean I'm teaching you right now, and when we talk about present, that is present, and then when we talk about past incidents which has happened before, right, that is past. And if we are talking about actions which will be happening in future, that is called future tense, right? Learn ahead. So we have 12 tenses. Let's learn about them one by one. So first of all, we have simple present tense. Basically, in this tense, we mostly talk about habits, permanent actions, regular actions, right? So let's learn about how to frame sentences with the help of this tense. Basic rule for simple present tense: subject plus V1 plus S or ES. If your subject is singular, then in verb ki base form you will put S or ES plus object. For example, he drives a car, she plays football, I study English. With I, you will not put S or ES. This is just a rule of English which we have to accept as it is, because I know so many of you can just think in your mind that why S not with I, because I is also singular, but this is just a rule which we have to accept. Subject, and then we have verb, then object. So we can go ahead with next. Then we have present continuous tense. Basic rule of for present continuous tense: first of all, use of this tense is when we talk about progressive actions which are being done right now in front of me. Let's suppose I am teaching you, you are studying with me. These are the tenses, these are the actions which are happening in progressive way, then we call present continuous and present progressive as well. So for this we have rules: subject plus ismr plus verb ki first form, and then ing, then object. Subject, verb, object. For example, he is driving a car, she is not singing a good song, we are eating seafood. Next, we have present perfect tense. When we talk about some recent actions which has happened, which has recently happened something, or the actions which we want to talk about, which actions have recently taken place, right? So then we use present perfect tense. So basic rule for present perfect tense would be subject plus has, have plus V3 plus object. Subject, verb, object. V3 verb ki third form. Guys, you have to learn verb at least 100 verbs, because we don't have options. Like suppose as per tenses, we have to change the forms of verbs, so you must have 100, 150 verbs in your pocket. So these verbs will help you out. So for present perfect, we have some examples as well. He has driven a car, I have finished my work, she has cleaned her kitchen. Let's move on. Present perfect continuous tense. This is basically the combination of progressive tense and some past sections which have been running from past. Basic rules for present perfect continuous tense would be subject plus has, have plus been plus verb ki ing form plus object. For examples, he has been driving a car since morning, they have been studying hard, she has been sleeping since afternoon. One thing you have to remember, that when we talk about a specific time, when we have a point of time and we know that from which time or which point this action has been going on, then we use since. And when we, like for example, Sunday, Monday, 1947, and then morning, right, yesterday night. So we know that what is the specific time. And when we don't know that what is the specific time, then we use for time prepositions. For example, I have been learning English for 2 years. For 2 years. Or if I specifically say this sentence, so I'll be saying I have been learning English since 2021. Then we have simple past. Basic rule for simple past are subject plus V2 plus object. This is very basic thing. And as I have told you before, that now you must know what are the second form of the verbs. So, for example, he drove a car, she wore new clothes, I cooked delicious food. Now let's we jump on past continuous tense. This is the same. I would say that's a progressive things which were being done in past. So the only thing which you have to do over here is that what we learned in present continuous tense, you just change is a are into was were, and your tense would be translated into directly past continuous tense. So basic rules for this tense is are subject plus was verb plus verb की ing form plus object. For example, he was driving a car, she was doing a great job, we were going to the library yesterday. That's it. And then we have past perfect. It could be a little bit tricky for you guys, but it's okay, you can understand this as well. Basic rules for this perfect tense would be subject plus v3, subject plus had plus v3 plus object, right? Sometime guys, may you might or may you may see some sentences where would be two actions. So just you have to keep one thing in your mind, the action which has taken place first, that would be translated into past perfect tense. So for example, if I have to say like this, the patient had died before the doctor came, so that means the patient had already died, doctor came later. So this could be the one example when you have two actions in one sentence only. And now we have some more examples, such as he had driven a car, she had eaten snacks before dinner, had they run very fast. We have past perfect continuous tense. Basic rule for past perfect continuous tense: subject plus had been plus verb के first form plus ing object. For example, he had been driving a car since morning, they hadn't been calling her friend, we had been watching a horror movie. So specifically, like past perfect continuous tense and present perfect continuous tense, these tenses specifically they denote or they illustrate timing. So when we talk about a duration, then most of the time we use present perfect continuous tense and past perfect continuous tense. So an action which took a long duration or which took a duration, or action which is taking duration, then we use present perfect and past perfect continuous tense, as well as it would be for future. Simple future tense. Basic rule for simple future tense would be subject plus will shall plus verb की first form plus object. For example, he will drive a car, she will buy a new dress, a teacher will teach the whole students. Future continuous tense. Subject plus will shall plus be plus verb की ing form plus object. Basic rule for future continuous tense. And what is the exact use of future continuous tenses? When an action will take a little bit duration, like 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, right? And when we'll be talking, I suppose I'll be watching, he will be driving a car, so maybe that we will be traveling from somewhere to somewhere, and it will take a time to reach that destination. So he will be driving a car mean that an action will be being done in future, will being done in future. So this is the use of future continuous tense. I will be losing weight every day, she will be watching a movie, because movie takes at least 2 hours and 2.5 hours and 3 hours. So that's why we are using future continuous tense. Now we have future perfect tense. Basic rule for future perfect tense: subject plus will shall plus have plus v3 plus object. And for example, he will have driven car, she will have written a letter, they will have built a house, they will have built house. Now the use of future perfect tense could be when we talk about that in future something will have been done by the time or by the specific point or like let's suppose if I have to say that I will have submitted my project by tomorrow, that means I'm saying that I won't let next day come, or I'm saying that this is my time limit or this is the deadline of something. So when we talk about that there is a deadline for something and that so and so action will have been done, then we use future perfect tense. Then we have last tense, which is future perfect continuous tense. So basic rules for future perfect continuous tense are subject plus will shall plus have been plus verb ki first form plus ing plus object. And then for examples, he will have been driving a car since morning. I will have been taking for 1 hour talking. I will have been talking for 1 hour. Let's suppose that you will meet to your special friend, or you will meet a special one, and you feel like that it will take time, right? And you are saying to someone that, see, I will, I will talk to that, I will be talking to that person for long duration, and now you are specifically talking about time, 1 hour, 2 hour. So I will have been talking to that person for 1 hour, so it may, it might take me a little longer, you can leave. It will have been snowing for a week. So you know very well that Kashmir is a place in India. Kashmir, Shimla, these are some places, and we know very well that these are the places where we can see snowfall, right? So now you are saying that when winter will come, there will have been snowing for months, for for weeks, for so and so date, and whatever you want to say, if you are well known from, to that place. And with that, these we are done with tenses portions. I hope you guys did enjoy this, and I hope that you got something, you understood something. Still, if you have any doubt, please cross check. It will help you out. Thank you so much.